I am the Red Cyclone! Ah!
Hello, welcome to another episode of the It Gives Me a Right Swear podcast. This is your episode 4, 5/27/18. I am your host, Louis Beans, and I'm here with Mark with the mic.
Yo.
All right, so we're going to resurrect our series, the Tooncast, this week.
Yeah, we haven't done this in a while. We have a lot of past episodes. We went through the wannabes, so like the Ninja Turtles wannabes, like all those ones that laid the trail after Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of conversation, a lot of discussions. Definitely go back to them. We actually had really good discussions. Even when Voltron, before Voltron animation came out, me and you had a crazy thing about Voltron.
Yeah, because I just like that series, and even though it's had its ups and downs, it's always been entertaining for me.
But one thing that surprised me is that you never knew about the car one.
No. It's so weird. I mean, the advertising for it, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's But today's topic of pretty much what came the heated topic of everything was the Thundercats War cartoon that's coming out on Cartoon Network. A lot of people are really shitting on it. A lot of people are accepting it. Me, again, it's not for me. It's made for a different generation. So I'm not crazy about it. And then also, I was never a big Thundercat fan. So for me, it's not a big deal to me. Ninja Turtles, on the other hand, I take kind of offense to it.
Yeah. But if they give you a bad Ninja Turtles, you about to fight somebody.
Exactly, and I dealt with that.
Yes, you have. Yes, we did. We all have.
But
even if you weren't a fan, we all have.
But going into what Thundercats War is, it's a bunch of these big cartoons that stood the test of time and still are in the loop of things, like Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles, I think, is the forefront of it. It had so many incarnations of the series.
Yes.
As you went from live action, you have cartoons. You had the cartoon movie, which was amazing. Mm-hmm. I really liked that movie. It was very underrated.
TMNT, right?
Yes. It was really good.
I enjoyed that.
And you had a lot of reincarnations, but they always found a way to reestablish themselves as what they always were. The characteristics were always there. Mm-hmm. The only one that I'll say that was slightly different in characteristics was the 87 one, because Raphael wasn't the angry one. He was just an asshole. He was just a sarcastic one. He's just said the wrong things at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
But after like the 2003 incarnation, the one we don't talk about.
Was that the CBS one? No. Okay.
Well, throughout the whole CBS one, there was still the 87 one. They still had the same characteristics. Raphael wasn't really angry. He was just more jokative and very sarcastic. And that was Ron Bolton that talked.
Okay. So the one you're talking about, was that the one on Nickelodeon?
The one we don't talk about?
Yeah.
The one we don't talk about is Next Mutation.
Yeah, but where was that? Where did that
was on
series debut?
That was on
5?
It was Saban. Yeah, it was Saban, so it was Channel 5.
Wow. Okay, I definitely did not watch that anyway. Mm-hmm. So I don't even have a reference for it.
Which I don't. Yeah. You want to watch it? Go ahead, watch it. It's on Netflix.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think you want to go in that rabbit hole, but
hey,
I'll let you.
I saw a movie that was amazing yesterday that was on Netflix. It was 2 movies that were actually good. I mean, did you know that Raiden, the actor that played Raiden, is still playing like Christopher Lambert?
Yeah.
He plays a character that's literally like Raiden and Shang Tsung mixed together.
Yeah.
But also uses a katana like the Highlander. So this is some weird stuff going on. And Mike Tyson was in the movie in jail. There's a lot of and it was the Kickboxer sequel. No, not the one with Batista. There's a one after the one with Batista. Why? I don't know.
But it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was dumb fun, but
yeah,
you just reminded me, like, yeah, sometimes you might find some enjoyment in some bad stuff. Yeah. So maybe.
So the biggest thing is, again, like I said with Ninja Turtles had the most, like, as an established thing, it's still established to this day. It's still big name to this day. It's still multi-million-dollar franchise to this day. But it has some of the most reincarnations of the characters, the most design looks, different looks, and everything like that. So you have the 2003 series that went to more the Mirage look. Then you had Fast Forward, which went more to a cartoony animation look.
Well, I guess you could really blame the toys for like setting a standard.
Yeah.
Because even the first toy line had so many different incarnations that it's always natural to see different versions of the Turtles. Yeah.
But always going into that, but they always established themselves. 2012 series was a series that a lot of people questioned. And then when they actually watched it and actually learned the story was fucking amazing.
Yeah. That's the accolades I heard about like that series in particular.
I personally didn't like it when I first saw it, and I was like, the animation, I'm not crazy about it. But then I started watching and started getting into the story, and then fucking 6 seasons in, it was amazing. Like, it was, honestly, it's probably my favorite one.
Okay.
It's probably my favorite one. The way they did a lot of the characters. The only thing I will say that I didn't like that much was April. But other than that, I understood why they made her the way she was, and I understood it, and I was fine with it.
Okay.
But other than that, I love the series. But that's like a big example, the reincarnations and stuff like that. Thundercats is another thing that wasn't really a bit. I won't say is not on the top tier franchises. Like in the 80s, you had Transformers, you had Joe's, Ninja Turtles. Then you had the other lower tier ones, which was Thundercats, Silverhawks. And
I'm trying to think, is there anything in that upper echelon of kids
He-Man.
cartoons? Yeah, He-Man. Jeez, He-Man was a powerhouse back in the. Jeez.
Yeah. So
he fell off hard.
Yeah, he fell off really hard because, again, and then it also goes to show what kids are into it at the time as well, because a lot of kids were into the Conan Barbarian comic books, and they were into that Barbarian Conan, fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger as Conan movie just hit big as well. So that kind of character was what people wanted at the time.
This is true. That's why, in part, wrestling was so big back in the 80s.
Yeah.
With that era of the larger-than-life characters. And they were just giant, muscly dudes, but they all were crazy. Yeah. But they would look large, visually it was represented well. So it all stands out. This big, colorful, muscles everywhere on the men and women's. It didn't matter. She-Ra, she had a popular cartoon in the same time period. But and
then they try to put them in space, and that was terrible.
Really? Come on. Yeah. When did they do that?
All right. So talking about the reincarnations, the T-Man did have 2. They had one in the early 90s, which he was a space barbarian, and he had a mullet with a tail, and he had a flying horse.
I'm sorry, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Never seen that?
No.
You had that incarnation, which pretty much killed He-Man. It killed He-Man. It literally killed He-Man. Like, he looked like a pretty boy. He didn't look like a fucking... He's a barbarian anymore. Like, in the original cartoon, he looked like a brolic barbarian. Even though he had a bowl haircut, you took it seriously.
Yeah, you wouldn't mess with that man with a bowl haircut. Yeah,
exactly. You look like he will shove his sword in places that you don't want that sword to be.
Exactly.
This one looked like he wanted to date you.
Yeah. I mean, he would at least have the courtesy to ring your doorbell before he picked up your daughter to take her to prom.
Exactly. Or he'll probably pick up your son.
This is true. He was sweet-faced, as they say.
It was called The Adventures of He-Man.
Now, was it bad though?
It was really bad. But so they stopped using that Masters of the Universe per se, and they called it The Adventures of He-Man. and that was a separate tone. It was more space and technology. They try to do what G.I. Joe did with the figures and add a bunch of weapons and everything like that to different characters and whatnot. But it was just wasn't that great, and it didn't catch on. A lot of kids didn't like it. I honestly remember when I was a kid, I actually had a sword. I think that was the only thing I owned from that series was the sword.
Okay. I never actually did. I did get to see the action figures though. They did look okay.
The figures were good. It's just that it was a whole like it was not. They went like a whole 360 different tone with him, and like it just people didn't catch on to it and people didn't like it.
Do you think that did more damage than the movie starring Dolph Lundgren?
I think the movie, a lot of people accepted the movie because it was a movie based on something they love. So I think the movie was more accepted.
That movie gave me nightmares because Skeletor's face was terrifying.
Yeah,
like it was literally melting off of his face. It was terrifying.
But as different as it looked, the toy line didn't look that great. They were very stiff.
Oh no articulation, and at that time. There was already like the change had already shifted for action figures. If you didn't have articulation, you were getting left behind.
Yep. So that was their first reincarnation, and they came back later in the 2000s with He-Man from Cartoon Network, which was also Masters of the Universe. It was called Masters of the Universe.
And now this is the one that got the complete origin story for Skeletor.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
I actually liked the series.
And that lasted how long? 2 series? 2 seasons or 1?
I think it lasted 2 or 3 seasons.
Okay.
I want to get the full facts right now.
But all I remember is that I saw somebody put the clip up, and I was just super interested because I know the original series. I don't remember the origin, and so I looked and I was like, oh, this is actually a pretty good explanation of why Skeletor looks the way he does. Yeah. And I mean, you kind of just be like, yeah, that's kind of good for you because he kind of tried to kill the king, and the king had a shield and deflected the acid and it hit him in the face and was like, you jerk. That's what you get. But he survives with a floating skull, so whatever.
Yeah, it lasted 2 seasons. It went from it had 39 episodes. Lasted 2 seasons. It was supposed to get picked up a 3rd season, but Cartoon Network decided to go a different approach with a lot of things, and that's when when they kind of stopped Toonami as well.
Okay.
And like in the afternoon, that's what kind of the beginning of Adult Swim, and they kind of doing a lot of changes on the network, so they kind of stopped it.
Oh.
And it was supposed to get a 3rd season. But no one really picked it up, and then the rights of He-Man was going everywhere also because a lot of people they were trying to get a movie done in that sense, and they never got. Now is actually getting in production. I think it's post-production right now, but they have a script and everything
for a He-Man movie.
For a new He-Man movie, but it all depends on the rights because Mattel still it's owned by.
Stuff
like that. That's like probably their only that and Barbie is like their only big.
I'm trying to think. That's it, right? Yeah, as far as I can think of, Mattel.
DC did a really good comic book run though. If you actually really want to go deep into stories and stuff like that, DC from I think it was around the same time this comic book came out because I think it was based on this comic. And it went on from this until about 2006, 2007. It was a really good comic.
All right.
It went more in depth. It went more in depth and everything like that. And that's something that a lot of people pass up on is the comic books. At this time, the comic books are getting more mature and they're actually getting more comfortable letting them write what they want to write and stuff. And add things to the story instead of always having to make it the same exact story over time.
Well, see, I would imagine so because it's writing one, so you can get it long form. Yeah. Not day to day, like not what is it, week to week, like a cartoon would be. You can get it little bite-sized bits, but just well written. And but I'm scared of what might be with the He-Man movie.
Yeah. My mistake is not DC that had it. It was Image. I got DC confused with Thundercats. Thundercats was under DC.
I have that number one.
Yeah.
Thundercats. The art on the cover art was fucking
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
Look at
Ed
that.
McGuinness.
Yeah, that cover art is beautiful.
We talked about that. Wildstorm did that comic,
Wildstorm. Okay.
and they did a really good run as well. Ed McGuinness did the art,
Mm-hmm.
and it was actually a really good one. And you went more into the origin stories of the Thundercats.
Yeah,
So,
that was good.
Yeah, we get into Thundercats in a sec, but yeah, He-Man was that one of those things that was put in 3 different tests. That space one was terrible.
I gotta check that out. I never actually watched that. I was thankful, but then I think maybe this is why these cartoons never last on when they kept trying, because they just didn't have a good enough premise to initially bring you in, so nobody's watching it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and it was actually before the times that they started like really focusing on story than just selling toys. Because I think when Batman came out, I think that's during that time is that they started focusing on storylines than just having a cartoon to sell toys.
it's just like, I'm trying to really rack my brain around what was even the marketing for this. I don't even remember that there was a it does not look familiar to me at all. The 90s He-Man, it just doesn't.
Yeah, it came out. It was very short run.
So it's like,
I think it lasted like 1 season. Yeah,
it had to be a blip in time. It doesn't look familiar at all.
I think it showed on Channel 7.
What is damn? Okay.
And then I think She-Ra also had a remake. Also, it's called The New Adventures of He-Man. Skeletor looked retarded. They only had 1 season, had 65 episodes.
Okay.
Skeletor looked like a Power Ranger villain.
Yeah, I see.
But he had a goofy looking face.
Yeah, it's legitimately goofy looking face. Yes, it is so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, well, listen. If it was bad, it was bad, and it deserved to fail.
Yeah.
Just say it. It was terrible. It was terrible. But this is the stuff that did way more damage than other stuff. Like Turtles never hit a low so low that people stopped caring.
I think
like not yet, because He-Man has literally, you say, only 3 iterations.
Yeah.
That people stopped giving a shit. You know, like
Next Year Mutation hit a hard note, but then it gave a couple of years, and that's when they did the 2003 series.
Also, the other thing that can revitalize the Turtles is that they also have the potential. It's been a while to have a really good game to distract everybody from anything else anyway.
Yeah.
And that brings attention to the Turtles in a different light, or the toy line or something. But like, yeah, I think He-Man never successfully had a good game.
No,
so
I don't even remember he actually had a game.
He probably had a game from Nintendo.
Maybe. Atari.
Oh, you think?
Probably Atari.
He-Man Atari. I'll look for it. But like,
I know. I don't even think he had one. I think he had one for Atari.
Yeah, he did.
I know he was in Toy Soldiers.
Yeah, he does have Atari games. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I think they made a beat 'em up. I think someone made a beat 'em up on a PC.
But yeah,
it was like a side scroll.
Definitely nothing memorable on the video game side with He-Man. No.
And that's a potential game that could have been easy, like a Golden Axe kind of game with He-Man.
This is true.
And his other characters. Someone made a fan version of the game.
Okay.
Oh shit! That was like a fighter.
So they sprite swapped He-Man into a fighting game?
Yeah.
Nice.
So he had like a spaceship game that I'm looking at right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like those PC games, the typing games.
I see there's some more modern stuff here that looks like phone games. Or no, there's actually a He-Man game on Steam, I see.
So he did have one, I think, on PlayStation. And
really?
Game Boy. Yeah, he had a Game Boy and a PlayStation game.
Okay.
The PlayStation one was on was based on the new cartoon series that was on Cartoon Network.
Okay. All
That
right.
was based on that. So they actually had a couple good games. They had a couple not good games, but they had a couple.
Yeah, a couple games. They had games, but not good games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not gonna say
So,
games. Yeah, Ninja Turtles always has that arcade remnants, and I think that's what keeps Ninja Turtles alive. Also, I think that retrospect of Ninja Turtles and that arcade game, and if they ever do it again, I think it will sell amazingly.
like,
Or update it into a perfect version of the arcade game, not bullshit version.
that's going back into Thundercats. That's probably why Turtles last the test of time so well, is because they hit so many different mediums. Like, if you don't think about it consciously, you forget that not only is it cartoons, not only is it toys, it's also video games, it's also books, it's also comics, it's also so many, like, legitimately how many pieces of Ninja Turtle apparel there are, hats, t-shirts, sneakers, like anytime
a music album.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, like, how many people legitimately, like, for real fondly remember TURTLE Power? Like, that's a cool music video. Like, there ain't shit like that for He-Man. Just shit ain't shit like that for, like, a lot of the things that don't last, is because they either are copying something, or they hit a point where the people involved don't know how to evolve it, and it just fails.
Yeah.
Falls into obscurity.
But
the cast, it happened to them. So we're happy they're back, with a question mark.
What, Thundercats?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll wait to actually watch the cartoon.
Yeah, me too.
And see what kind of take they do it. You know what? I'm not gonna say anything because I did not watch the Cartoon Network one, because at the time I wasn't really watching, and then I had nothing to watch it on, so I never watched it. If I could find it, I will watch it and see how I liked it.
I'd recommend it to see how it looks, because it's gorgeous, but it didn't grasp me the way I thought it would. So it kind of just came and went.
Yeah, but one thing and one medium that did really good with, like, portraying the G.I. Joe, portraying Thundercats, portraying He-Man, has been the comic books. Devil's Dude's G.I. Joe run was amazing.
Okay.
And it get you back. It got G.I. Joe looked at again, and it got IDW to take their rights to it, because the comic books were doing really well.
Okay.
You also had Dreamwave doing Transformers before IDW took over. Remember Dreamwave's Transformer one? That was fun.
Yeah. The artist was so good.
Yeah, Pat Lee drew that.
Pat Lee, yeah. I have it. It's probably in terrible condition. I waited. He did a signing at Midtown one time, and I got a poster.
Yeah. But that's another one that kind of stood the test of time, is Transformers. They knew how to evolve their product in a way. Like, right now, to what I know, I have never watched it, but my friend was saying this is probably one of the best Transformers series he's seen in a long time.
Okay. All right.
The current one that's online, I think it's online only. I don't think it shows on any channel.
Is it translated? Like, is it not Japanese? It's American?
Yeah, it's American. Yeah, Samoa Joe just talked to one of the characters.
Really?
Yeah, I forgot who talked, but he was just part of the show as well.
Wow.
And they doing the whole Prime. I forget the name of it. I'll get the link for that name.
Samoa Joe. Wow.
But it's good to see that it's still running, and Hasbro still has a lot of hope for it. Their toy line is probably some of the best stuff they ever did.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, toys and toys in general. I think Bumblebee's getting his own movie that's coming.
Is John Cena gonna be in that movie?
That's the one Johnson was in.
Nice. Is he gonna be the car?
Nah, I think he's just gonna be the person.
Okay. Because I'm just saying, John Cena's big enough that he could be a car.
But this was another one that had many reincarnations, because they even had that silly animation look as well. Then it had its old original look, and then it had an anime version of it. It also had the Beast Wars CGI version of it. Now it's done like mostly CGI and animation. Is a mix of the two.
Okay.
So that's like one that like fully evolved in different looks and stuff like that, and still holds to today, is the fact that they went from Japanese style when it first came out
Mm-hmm.
and it went to Beast Wars, which was then the other successful one. I remember Transformers Armada went kind of more into the anime-ish look as well. You had Beast Machines, which went to a crappy CGI. You had what was it? The anime one with when Optimus Prime was a fire truck. I forgot the name of that one. It was on Channel 5 for a little bit. But they have the current one that's running now that's kind of a mix of CGI and animation. It's called Transformers Cyberverse.
Transformers Cyber Wars, you said?
Cyberverse.
Cyberverse, okay.
That's the new one coming in. And then they also had one before that, which is been their current one that's going. And it's been actually really popular. They did the CGI robots and everything like that. And I heard it was actually really good.
Okay, cool.
But they also went to that silly cartoony look as well. They actually had a series with that silly cartoon called Transformers as well, which they were all like big blocky animations. Like some of them were oldie big, and they made weird looking cars and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
but even that survived that, right?
Yeah. I guess they just take chances in that sense.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
So Thundercats and stuff. How you like the original?
I remember the animation initially being very good. The intro is still like one of the best intros to a cartoon.
Yeah.
But the one thing that holds up is the movie, not the show. There's I think it was made for television Thundercats movie that was like a 2-parter.
Okay.
That shit is epic. Like before the word was overused, it was like you saw the planet destroyed, you saw them come to wherever it is. Third Earth was their planet. Thundera was the planet. They go to Third Earth, I think it is, and then somehow they end up fighting these pirates, and then there's all sorts of stuff. It's just like it's freaking crazy. Hold on a second. The one thing I remember was Hammerhand. He was the main character. He was the leader of the Lunatics. No, damn, I'm thinking of the people from season 2. There was also there was like a crazy scene where for some reason Lionel got trapped underwater, and they tried to melt him or boil him alive with the ship. And I was like, that's one of the most original ways to kill a cartoon character I think I've ever seen. So that left an impression on me. What else was it? There was a bunch of like just crazy stuff going down. What else they had?
What's the name of the movie?
What was the name of the movie?
Thundercats Ho.
Thundercats Ho was the name of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the first 3 episodes of the original series.
All right. Apologies. I'm trying to get this thing right.
Or the season? No, it was the first 3 episodes of season 3. That was the movie.
The first 3? Okay, first 3.
That was the movie. Yeah. Like I remember seeing it. I never watched it like fully straight through, and I think I will probably try to watch it straight through and see my opinion of it. I do got to find the animation one where I think I could find maybe on Xbox and just buy the season.
Okay.
But yeah, I would like to see it, just see it to actually have an opinion on the animated one. It does look cool. I did look at the animation. It kind of went with the comic book series.
Okay.
Like a lot of the stories they used were from the comic book series that I read. So yeah. I was like, all right, I'll get a chance like that. Thundercats Roar is going to be written. I think it is the people that did Steven Universe, and I think it's the that has some of the Teen Titan writers.
Oh, nice. So I mean, at least there's that lineage where I mean, if you like those shows and like to listen to whatever they write, because you know it's going to have their writing, so then maybe you'll enjoy it for that. So, but I have no familiarity because I've never watched Steven Universe. Like I've thought about it, and I want to. And I see so many people celebrate the characters, and I want to know why. But something about it that doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah. I said the same thing, but I kind of forced myself to watch the first season. And I was telling you this before we started the cast. It's like I kind of forced myself to watch it, but I got really into the story, and the story was actually interesting. If you could get yourself indulged and invested in the story, I think you'll like the show more.
Yeah.
And if you can't get yourself into the story, then you're not gonna like it.
Yeah, true story.
But
like I was saying about the original shows, like it doesn't really hold up that well.
No.
That's what I was gonna say about like, do I remember liking it? Yes, but apparently only really like 3 episodes, because the rest of it is just kind of bland. You kind of want more action, or at least more of like what it had in the movie, which was like it had a lot of suspenseful moments where, dude, that movie is fucking ridiculous. Lionel loses the sword and he has to learn how to command it telepathically.
Yeah.
And he gets like frozen and he gets to break out of ice like with the sword, like shatters through the ice and then breaks him out. That shit is like, I'm sitting here thinking about what happened in the movie. I'm like, wow, you never see any of that brought up. That was actually like some of the best shit that happened in Thundercats, was just like that movie, because the rest of the show is kind of it's really a letdown.
Yeah.
And I mean, but not to poo-poo it, I will say it probably has one of the best 80s soundtracks of any cartoon.
Best things, yeah.
Like if you listen to, like, if you look on YouTube, just put the names of the characters. Put Panthro, Tigra, Chitara, Lionel, mumm-ra. Like, look up the themes for each character. Panthro. That's all you need. All right, and we're gonna take a little break right here, just to remind you to follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, also on SoundCloud. What we do is we have this podcast, the It Gets Better I Swear podcast. We also have the Wrestling Babble podcast that's hosted by Merc with the Mic, who's a frequent guest on my show, and that should be on Merc with the Mic on SoundCloud. We post those on YouTube as well, so you can check the Merc with the Mic podcast out on his YouTube channel, which is also Merc with the Mic. And also you can catch the It Gets Better I Swear podcast, as well as the various other playthroughs on the RedCycloneInc YouTube channel. Thank you.
Yeah.
Slash life. That's it. That's how you win. You win. Like, I don't know who did his theme. It's the best thing I've ever heard. Fucking ridiculous. But I don't know if this show's gonna have that music.
Yeah.
That's a pretty high bar.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous.
And it's funny because I was looking at the little space car they had, and it kind of looks like the Fantastic Four car.
Okay, I haven't seen the car. I know they had the battle tank.
Yeah.
And it had a specific design, so maybe they're trying to go back to that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they had anything cool vehicle wise in the was it 2011 show? I don't think they had any cool vehicles or anything like that.
Yeah, that was also thing too. They had some cool vehicles. Their headquarters was pretty dope. It was a big fucking lion.
And you can see the 70s influence.
Yeah.
It was an 80s cartoon, but they're still fucking big hair.
Yeah.
Them wearing spandex, they look like, if you look at the outfits, they look like they're in the circus.
Yeah.
Like literally circus outfits. The kids have a certain type of outfit. Tigra really has a gymnast outfit on.
Yeah.
Chitara's wearing a straight up onesie. Like she's straight up wearing a leotard and boot. Like they look like they're circus performers. So
yeah. So Lionel looked like something like it would be He-Man would wear.
This is also true. But like you could feel that 70s vibe in Thundercats.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And it was Americanized too, because apparently it was like there was supposed to be more Asian influence because it was a Japanese cartoon.
Yeah.
Well, at least it was drawn by.
It was drawn by. It was not a Japanese take.
Yeah,
it was drawn by a studio though.
It's
That was
crazy
kind of how a lot of cartoons were back then.
Yeah. Because right, Transformers and all that. But did Transformers have a dub in Japan or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, okay. Because I don't think Thundercats has a Japanese dub. I'm not sure. I have to look that up.
Yeah. So, do you feel that you would like a more mature oriented story, or you're fine with the way they're gonna go with this?
I mean, these things come in like they have their little revolutions. Let it happen. Let this thing happen. I want to see how it pans out, because maybe Thundercats could become a better comedic cartoon than it ever was a serious one.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen sometimes.
Like I think like Voltron itself, and we talk about Voltron a lot on these shows and like that. I think that show, if it was on Cartoon Network, probably would have failed. And that more going to the fact that it was more story oriented. It has nice animation, but it was a big story that I think that studio would not been able to tell the way they wanted to, unless it was on Netflix. I think Netflix gave them a lot of the leeway for them to actually really create it.
Okay.
Then if Cartoon Network, I think it wouldn't have gotten the views it gets or the popularity it got. And then also you got to realize that the first season of Voltron, there was no storyline until the second season.
Okay.
So they were not there to sell toys. They was out there to sell, and then the toys came.
But wasn't that this particular one like a passion project for everybody? Because it wasn't like they didn't get fans involved and stuff.
Yeah. I think this was a full passion project, but also the fact that DreamWorks owned the rights to Voltron for quite some time, and they wanted to really do something with it, so they got ahead. It was kind of like a dream collaboration.
Yeah, it's like everybody involved was like happy to do it. They wanted to do it.
So I was hoping, like, if they did something that would hope something in that story, and I think that's what people want out of like these, especially the like older people, the older that fans are. They kind of want more of a story based show that they never got as a kid. They always got the toy show or anything like that. They never got that big story arc show, which we are getting with Voltron now. We got with Ninja Turtles. We got with He-Man, because the Cartoon Network one was a lot more story oriented than the original cartoon. The cartoon was just, hey, there's a barbarian. Hey, he has a power sword.
Hey, man, listen, He-Man was trying to give you some powerful messages back in the day about don't let the priest touch you.
Exactly.
He saw what was coming, so He-Man was on the pulse.
And you know what's funny is like nowadays your cartoons don't really have to have a message in that sense,
because it's not, I don't want to say sad, but I think most people forget that life lessons aren't always taught where they should be.
Yeah.
And we as a society tend to think that, oh, you already know this. So many people already know this, but I think it probably would be a nice thing to have Sonic the Hedgehog tell you not to let a priest touch you. I remember Jaleel White telling me, don't let anybody inappropriately touch you. Tell an adult or tell a faculty member or something like that. But like,
what if it's one adult?
What if it's Sonic the Hedgehog touching me inappropriately?
No.
What?
What if it's one of the damn teachers or the parents doing it?
Well, see, that's why you tell the janitor that everybody thinks is weird, and then
janitor
shoots him. No, the janitor gets killed and stuffed into a closet and never see him again, like Willie. On The Simpsons, remember he was the only one in the Shinning that knew, and he kept getting killed.
Oh man, I still remember that. This is a deep and disturbing universe.
Yes. Oh god.
Oh, the one thing, like you just mentioned, the character that actually had a lot of reincarnations, Sonic the Hedgehog.
This is also true.
I mean, but a lot of different cartoons.
Yeah, he really got lucky that he caught on, and I don't really know what to attribute it to, because there was a big gap. Oh, okay.
Because
there was a big gap between Channel 7 and the anime. Like it was a long time.
Well, he had the Sonic Underground, which was between the anime and and the Channel 7 one.
Underground was which one? That wasn't Channel 9.
It was one that he had two cousins, and one was green, one was pink, and they were a rock band and shit.
Oh man, what era was that? That was on Fox?
That was on Channel 9, I think.
Really? Never seen that one.
I think it showed on USA first, and then it showed on Channel 9.
Okay, never seen that one. All I remember was the 2004. That was
Sonic X.
Yeah, Sonic X. And I remember F-Zero had a cartoon around that time. Like, yeah. Kirby had a cartoon. Wow, Kirby had a cartoon.
Donkey Kong.
Yes, he did. They all had cartoons. Holy shit. Yeah, I
think,
wasn't watching any of those. Damn.
I think Sonic stood the test of time because that comic book is really strong, and that comic book always had good writers, and that comic book always sold really well.
Yeah, that's another hallmark. Is him and Mega Man apparently have really good comic books that they've never been canceled from the original line. Like they're both on Archie's. Are they on Archie? I think one of them. Right?
Sonic is still on the Archie.
Yeah,
no, Sonic is on IDW now.
IDW. Oh, wow. Okay. Did not know about that, but I knew at one point they were on Archie for a minute.
It was recent that they moved to IDW.
Okay.
But IDW does a lot of work for Archie, so it's probably like a team effort kind of thing. But yeah, definitely. You know, one you guys should check out the 8-part series was Sonic and Mega Man.
Okay. It's literally those two comics coming together.
Yeah, and pretty much Dr. Wily and Robotnik make robots out of all the characters and stuff, and Mega Man and Sonic are...
Can we get that as a cartoon series? Can we get Sonic and Mega Man? Like, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but all going back to then you had Sonic X, which surprisingly was very popular. I didn't like it, but it was very popular and actually had a great story. And I just hated the kid. I think that's what turned me off of the comic.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of his, but it just never grabbed me.
Yeah, but I had a catchy theme song, and it lasted like 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm. That was the thing I remembered about it. It was on for a while. Yeah. I wish F-Zero had caught on.
Yeah,
makes me sad.
And then you also had then Sonic Boom.
Yeah. Now, when did that come out?
Sonic Boom was like 2 years ago. 3 years ago.
So wait, you mean to tell me that's literally when it debuted? Was 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was like 2-3 years ago.
I thought it was an older show that they brought back.
Nah, it was a new show.
Okay, so that means I never did, because I thought I was watching it post having aired already. I thought this was like reruns, so I was actually watching it when it was happening, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, Sonic Boom started. It has 104 season. It has 2 seasons.
It's a lot of episodes for a season. That's 54. Oh, yeah, 54.
2014. 4 years ago.
Wow. So I was actually watching it while it was coming out.
They were making the games, and they wanted the cartoon to go directly with the game, and they wanted to reestablish Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles as different characters, and they trying to give them the good looks.
They changed the looks, yeah, and it worked on the show, dude.
It worked really good on the show. It did not catch on the games.
No, well, the game was bad. Sonic Boom is a bad game. It's very glitchy. It's very glitchy. Like, it just... Yes, yeah.
It was really bad on the 3DS as well.
But like, just oh my, see that cartoon. Well, and it was 3 CG animated too.
Yeah.
And I was like, so number one, it had a budget, but number two, it was so good because it was smart. It wasn't. See, and this is why I think that Thundercats will be all right. Is because Sonic Boom, it wasn't a deep show. It was very stupid. Knuckles was a dummy. The boomerang chick was a dummy. Well, she just was reckless as hell. Tails was just bumbling with his inventions and stuff. But he would always try to do the right thing and nobody would listen to him. Amy was crazy. Like, legitimately, she was crazy. And Sonic was a kind of a douchebag, but he was like... He wasn't as harsh as the Channel 9 one / the Chili Dog one.
Yeah.
Because he was a complete asshole. Like, he was like, thank goodness the bad guys were robots, because he would just trick them to die all the time. So, but like, it's something about how Sonic Boom was written that makes me like it so much. It's just like you can have these incredibly off the wall characters because everybody in that show has a very, very unique and quirky personality. Robotnik is very unique and he stands out. The henchmen, same thing. They stand out once again. Like it's just, but it's never really a cartoon where you watch it for a 4-part story arc.
Yeah.
Even though it does have it does have continuity, so every episode is not just a new thing. It's just a continuing series of Robotnik failing over and over again. But it's just dumb and fun. Like I recommend anybody who's never seen it because they hated the game. Like if you watch Sonic Boom, that cartoon has layers. It's a dumb show that's smartly written. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Watch that shit. But I mean, like, yeah, Thundercats will be fine. It's in good hands.
I say, as long as the story is written and people are interested in it, then I think it'll work. But if it's done poorly, people can't get into it, then yeah, it will feel like everything else will fail. Even like going into like I was saying with Ninja Turtles, having now like the rise of the Ninja Turtles completely changed the animation. I'm not crazy about it, but it's going to a different direction, and like I'll wait and see how it goes with the show.
Yeah, is it true?
Yep.
I wanted to bring up the thing that you said that the commander brought up in the chat, the manly art style. Can it survive in modern times? I don't want to go delve too deeply in it because I listened to it briefly and got the gist of what was going on, and I was like, to sum up what I think about the manly, quote unquote manly art survive in this era, 2018 and beyond, I would give Voltron as the number one example, because in the video itself it shows cartoons that have a similar art style, and classifies them as manly, and so therefore invalidating the guy's own argument is like, you take this one thing and you try to segregate to fit your own argument by leaving out the ones that are succeeding, and Voltron is winning.
Yeah.
All it's doing is winning, and it has an art style that is not placating to children, and it is quote unquote fits in that bubble of manly, the way he says it. So,
I could see it catering to children if they were fans of The Last Airbender or Korra at that time, because it is the same artwork as it. So when you see it, you're like, oh, stuff. I remember seeing something like this.
But it's so dark in contrast to like Airbender, because they're in space and a majority of the background is dark.
Yeah, but it's something like similar. Like when you see something similar, you tend to go to it because it feels similar. It feels.
Well, think about how many years it's been since Korra. They'd probably be like 20. So people who like grew up watching that, like as in they were children when Korra was on, maybe like 4 or 5. They'd be how old right now? Like maybe like 16.
Korra was.
How many years did it end?
Korra was not that long ago. Korra was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
But it was on for how long though? That's what I mean. Like it was on for a good. It was on for a good minute.
5 years ago.
So it ended 5 years ago.
5 or 6 years ago.
And it started when, like 2000.
So it's 5 years ago. It'd be 2015, probably like 2014 or 13.
So so that's a good enough time. That's like 7 years. So you probably be in high school watching Voltron. So that's it's about the same, the right age to hit you and hook you in anyway. And it's more mature, and it's a different color palette. So, but like, it does deal with different subject matter, because Korra was more female focused because she was the main character.
Yeah. All right. 2012. So that's a lot.
That's
that's a lot further. So you're right. It'd be like in high school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying you'd be a grown ass person, but you'd be definitely older. And if you're a fan of that, like you're definitely gonna be old enough to seek it out yourself, go on the internet and whatnot. Like not like how not like how children discover cartoons by just watching TV. or being sat in front of a TV and left,
And sadly, it's not the same as it used to be either. Like, there's only like a network or two that actually has those cartoons. Before, we had it everywhere. We had it on Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 11, Channel 2.
Because after school is just not a thing anymore.
and then you had USA try to pick up on that. You had Sci-Fi kind of picking up on that. You had a lot of different. Then you had Nickelodeon adding their animation studios. Then you had Disney Channel trying to get their animation studios.
On the whole industry.
Yeah. So you had a lot of things in our time that was what it is now.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it spawned a whole industry because if you think about it, Disney was only really known for movies, the cartoon movies.
Yeah.
Back then, and then it freaking started the Disney Afternoon, and it just started a whole revolution of like Disney on TV all the time. Are you crazy?
Yep.
Like, I could imagine somebody who was born in like the 60s or 70s who grew up with like how special Disney was.
Yeah.
And then to see it as like an adult on TV all the time, they're like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, after school stuff, man.
Yeah, it's crazy because I remember like showing my nieces. I have Darkwing Duck collection, and I put them on it, and they watched that whole season within that day. They watched the whole thing. They loved every moment of it. They was like, "Why there's no cartoons like this?" And I was like, "Because you guys don't have the attention span."
Yeah, you can't sit there and watch. Yeah, continuity.
But I was like, right now, I think supposedly Darkwing Duck's supposed to originate in the current DuckTales show.
Okay.
So they're gonna have like a universe, a Darkwing Duck universe in that.
All right, that's not bad.
Which is kind of cool.
Yep.
But
do it the same way. Why not?
But Voltron is a big aspect of it. Like, it was able to mature its audience. It was able to make a mature story, but actually still have fun doing it as well. It's not all serious. It's not all the fighting. It's a story. It's a really great story.
It's well-rounded. That's what it is. It has some of everything, but it does it all good.
And it's really creative in how they put the differences of what Voltron lore was. And Voltron, if you watch the original one, it's not that good.
No, it was badly dubbed.
Yeah.
The voice acting was terrible.
Yeah, so like watching this and actually having really good voice actors really give a shit about what they're doing and not just a paycheck and actually really get to tell you a story. It's a great, amazing show. And then the animation, the way Voltron looks, it's great.
I want to write a parallel between that and video games. Is like that's how you get the games like Last of Us and stuff. Was like, yeah, you can have all the flash and budget, but when the people behind it give a shit, the voice acting comes together. You know what I mean? So, and that makes the entire experience much better. Because when cartoons don't get their voices together, it could be a shit show.
It's like video games. They're never good because people just want to get it out and don't give a fuck about the game.
And the only ones people remember are the ones that people actually tried.
Yeah.
Although you can remember the Uwe Boll collection just because it was so terrible. You ever seen House of the Dead? Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
If you see his name,
Blood Rain, it ain't worth it. You're gonna sit through it for some bare breasts. You could have just sat at home, read a magazine.
But I meant by video game based movies, like games based on movies.
Games based on. Oh, you mean the opposite? You mean you mean the Batman, the video game type of thing.
Yeah.
I got you.
You see, it's kind of an assimilation.
But it's based on Batman the movie, not Batman the comic.
But
yeah,
they have a very short time to do it, and they just don't give a fuck.
Like the Aladdin games. One plays really good, one plays like shit.
You know what? I won't say those. The reason why, because one, those are critically good games, even though they don't play as well. They're both rated pretty well. And then two, they had a good span to work on it.
Oh, you mean just the time when they actually? Well, one of them was made by Capcom, so you can't really count that one because it was made by a legit company.
What I mean is like the Transformer, the movie game. It's rushed. It's not cared for, and they do little things, and they're usually really repetitive games.
You're right. You're right. How about the Blade game? Have you ever played Blade? He's got video games. You want to know how good it is? 0. No good.
What was
Terrible.
it? Batman Begins, the game where you had to use fear to fucking knock your opponent, which was an interesting concept, but
Yeah,
it was executed terribly.
that was
The
good
Pirates of
poorly.
the Caribbean games were fucking terrible. Like a lot of those games are not put. The same
Have you
games
ever
as-
played Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I actually like that game.
I like it because it was one of my games I got, but in retrospect, that game is terrible.
I
There's
liked
no
it
way
'cause
to
it
know
was
what to
given
do. And the last boss of the game is like mysterious. You just don't know how to beat him. You gotta just, and it's not good. But guess what? That music is burning in my brain, and I love it because I was a dumb kid at the time. But like, ugh, no bueno.
I liked the game because that was the one that was bought for me, so I had. to
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. Like, but when you think about it, back then. See, I can't say for you. I don't know if you saved your money up to buy Nintendo games, but for me, Nintendo games, I wasn't the one buying them.
Yeah, like I had to be go
Like
to school for a whole year in order to
yeah,
get
something
them,
like
but
that. Yeah. Like Nintendo. Like yeah, that was a gift.
a lot of blood work,
But
blood money right there.
like, no, I know exactly what you mean when it comes to people not giving a shit and just wanting to make a quick buck.
Yeah, and they do
Yeah.
that a lot. They do that a lot with a lot of the movies, the games based on movies.
Yeah,
But yeah, Voltron is a big factor in that series. All right, so going into these, then you also saw the revolution of the Marvel comics, the Marvel cartoons and the DC cartoons, and the way they were as well. As in these characters are standing the test of time as well, just by comic book in general. But
yeah,
as cartoons as well, as long as there's comic books and they're still being profitable, there will be cartoons, there will be reestablished cartoons and everything like that. You had a lot of the Marvels from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s, the 90s. They all had different styles and everything like that, but they still were popular amongst kids and shit.
I feel bad. Like I'm just gonna come out and say it. I feel bad for the children that had to endure the Captain America cartoon because I could see how that would mess you up. Because it was probably aimed at children, but he looks stressed in a way that a normal man shouldn't be, and he looked like he was suffering from all types of things, like mentally. It is just like if you ever see a picture of him. It's just like I can't believe that's Captain America #1. But it's just like, what did he see? Why is he bugging out like that? And it's just like
cover.
it should be. I gotta find that picture but also here's the thing. I want to get the person's name correct because I subscribe to their channel on YouTube because they put up the videos. I think the name is like Telfu. Tef. Let me just spell it out for y'all so you can see. So, oh man, why you gotta take so long to load? So his name is Ted Fufu, literally as it sounds, TEDFUFU. And he's been putting up unedited but stitched together chunks of the 60s. He didn't go up to the 70s yet. But he was doing the 60s Marvel series. So he was doing originally like Spider-Man. And then he was doing Fantastic Four, the Thing, the Thing solo series. I think that was 70s, I think. The solo Thing series.
Oh, Thing, Ring, do your thing.
Do your thing. That was Hanna-Barbera.
That was on the Hanna-Barbera, yes. The Fantastic Four series as well was on the Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah. But like that whole era of just what Marvel was doing back then, it was the Fantastic Four is different. It's written a certain way. It's very, very science focused, and you could tell it's almost too serious. It's almost too dry.
Those original ones, the ones that were pretty much like I told you, they're like Flash comics. They were pretty much the comic books.
Oh, the Kirby ones. Oh,
they were telling you the story of the comic book. They were pretty much telling you the dialogue of the comic book and just flashing the color, flashing the artwork.
It was admirable.
Yeah.
It's some stuff that makes you go, holy shit! These people were out here doing some stuff. It was like the first stop motion comics, literally.
Exactly.
And they made a cartoon series of it with the comic books, like literal pages of the comic books, and the artwork was used, which is cool. But some of the image, I just blame Cap. Cap is disturbing. He's the only one out of all of them that I watch it and I go, this is some stuff that's like they weren't heeding to any guidelines. They were like, okay, well, Cap was a soldier, so what do we know? We know people were just in World War II, so we're gonna actually put like how they were.
Yeah.
And he was not handling the death of Bucky well.
Nope.
It was kind of unnerving to watch. Like it's so bad that I believe Disney took the video down probably for some reason similar to that, because this guy's videos haven't been taken down.
Yeah,
that's the only one that was taken down, and it's just like, yeah, that cartoon is fucking weird. If you could track it down on some site other than YouTube, please do so. Was it the Captain America? I want to get the name. I have to look up the name of it. But it was obviously drawn by Jack Kirby.
Yeah. And you can see the sadness in his eyes.
It's the saddest thing in the world.
You see the death in his eyes. You see all the dead bodies through his eyeballs that he has seen. Yeah, Captain America was. I remember having the videotape of that. I think I still have it, and it's probably in my mom's house somewhere.
Oh my god! Yeah, 1966. Woo! Oh my god!
Spider-Man, the animated series, the Spider-Man cartoon was actually vastly popular.
The 67 one?
Yeah.
It was hilarious because he would just get beat up and then he would beat up the enemies in hilarious ways. It's just, that cartoon is almost slapstick. It's like Spider-Man can't die because whenever he gets hit with like a girder or something, he's fine.
Yeah. Spider-Man.
A building fell on Spider-Man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
but he'll be laid up sideways in a funny pose, and that's, you know, the fodder of so much meme. So much meme.
Yeah.
So much funny.
Yeah. There's a lot of memes on that series.
But it's well deserved. Also, shout out to Marty Skrull for whenever he finds a fan wearing the villain costume. Like if somebody does a cosplay of him and comes to a show, he takes a picture with them, but he also puts a Spider-Man meme of the Spider-Man pointing at another Spider-Man. That shit is hilarious. Oh my god. So far, I think he's like 3 for 3 on shows. So, all right. Keep dressing up as the villain, people. Do it.
Yeah. They also, with Spider-Man 81, which was a different series by himself, which was also still a slapstick one. Then you had the TV series, which was very short run. If you want to watch the TV series of Spider-Man, watch the Super Sentai. Okay. Well, not really Super Sentai, but the Japanese series, because at least he had the Megazord.
Yes, Leopold. What an awesome name.
Man, yes. I already talked about him for my Ready Player One.
And just the legacy. Yeah. Just the legacy of Leopold. You started the revolution, my friend.
Yeah, he was the first one with a Zord. He had a Zord before Power Rangers. But you know what's funny is that you're talking about this, and I'm doing the Power Ranger podcast monthly and stuff like that. We do the discussions of each season. I feel the same way with a lot of these seasons. Like some of these seasons are trying to get a certain fan base and trying to win off the certain fan base. So like Mystic Force came out during like the big parts of Harry Potter and stuff. So they try to get that fan base of magic and shit like that into that series.
Okay.
And they do that a lot at times. But going into that. But with the Marvel series, then we had like the 80s cartoons, and then we also had the Hanna-Barbera ones, which everyone forgets. Thing was a very popular character in the 70s.
Yes, extremely popular.
Like he was like one of the five. Like he was one of the top 5 heroes of the 70s.
He's like He-Man. He fell off hard.
Yeah.
He was like a hometown hero for people in New York because he's from
Yancey.
He's from Brooklyn, but that's loosely translated to Brooklyn, I think.
Yeah, he's like Brooklyn, Yancey Street. But yeah, like Thing was extremely popular back in the day. He's like I always liked the Thing. So anything that like if he was part of when he was part of Guardians of the Galaxy recently, I loved it because him and Rocket had great liners and shit like that. But his character kind of died out, but he actually had his own cartoon, Hanna-Barbera. He had a Fantastic Four cartoon as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Thing, ring, do your thing.
It's clobbering time.
Yeah, and he had his own little thing. Then you also had the Fantastic Four evolve into the '90s and having their little series as well.
Oh my god, they have another great intro.
Yeah,
That song, it goes so hard for no reason.
yeah, that was a great song.
Yeah, it's inspirational. It really is. It's like, why? I don't get it, but whatever. Reed Richards is elastic. Sue can fade from sight. Johnny is the Human Torch, and the Thing just loves to fight. And I didn't look that up. I just remember that shit.
Yeah, that one. You also had the bad X-Men, and then the good X-Men.
Oh, I never saw the one with Mag. It was Wolverine. No, Kitty Pryde and the Pride of the X-Men.
The Pride of the X-Men was really bad. To this day, that me and Japstar still joke about Wolverine's voice being Australian.
We didn't know. Look at the foreshadowing. Hugh Jackman is Australian. Look at that.
It's terrible. It's really bad.
I would like to point out, though, that unfortunately, I think the X-Men video game was based off of that cartoon, the first one, the big arcade one, because it has the exact same designs of the X-Men from that cartoon.
Yeah, it was the same design. It was made around the same time, actually.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I understand that X-Men went through some evolution, like the costumes and stuff, but if you look at the artwork itself, it's literally almost one-to-one, and the characters are there. White Queen, Juggernaut, Pyro, like who the fuck puts Pyro in anything?
Yeah, you know? Pyro, Magneto,
yeah, Juggernaut, not Juggernaut, Nimrod,
Dazzler,
yes,
Storm, Nightcrawler was there. That was
it was the replacements, Giant Size X-Men #1 team. So, except Wolverine was not in his original costume.
No, he was in the brown and tan.
Brown, yeah.
That was the popular color at the time.
Understood.
And then we got the 90s X-Men, which was great. We had the 90s X-Men.
Doesn't age as well in terms of animation quality. But the stories are okay. The animation is
I like some cheapness. I think the only ones I did not like is when they went to the Savage Lands. Anything with Savage Lands, I changed the channel.
Yeah, it got kind of boring. It got real dry.
I was like, nope. But it was a good cartoon.
I will say you did get some cool moments with Mr. Sinister. Because there was some funny stuff that happened. Like, legitimately, go back and watch that. There's some moments where it's like voice acting and animation come together to create some real gems.
Yeah.
There's some funny stuff.
And then, but that actually lasted longer than it actually should have. Because the seasons, like the art kind of went downhill and the seasons went kind of
And the crazy thing about that one is that eventually they imported the Japanese opening and outro for no reason.
They imported when it went syndicate. When it went syndicate.
Oh, the syndicated, yes. When they were on like channel 11, I think it was.
Yeah.
It had the Japanese outro, and I'm just like, this doesn't even make sense, but it's amazing.
Yes, it was. I was like, I want that cartoon.
Yeah, man. And then after doing further research, you find out that no, it was for that cartoon. They just really went crazy because Japan did air the X-Men cartoons.
Yeah.
But they created their own intro.
Yep.
And they had like 3 or 4, and they were all amazing. So one of them featured the Brood like heavily, and it was like there was only 1 or 2 episodes in the entire 90s run that had the Brood.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't want them because they looked like aliens. Like Aliens, the movie Aliens.
Yeah. I did like the way that one looked. That's when it went syndicate. That's when like that. But you had the end of those, and then X-Men went to X-Men Evolution.
Which, in retrospect, ages very well.
I actually really liked that shit.
I didn't like it as much the first time through, but later on in life, came back to it. Probably the best portrayal of Apocalypse ever, I feel. Where he was just a god floating in the sky and like rainbows come out. He's like Gil when he does his super.
Yeah.
Just fucking immaculate. Why?
Papa Wolverine in this show.
Old man, yeah. Old man Wolverine.
I don't say old man Wolverine. I say
because
he was like more of a father figure in this show than anything.
Voiced by Piccolo.
I think they portrayed all the characters pretty well. I did not like how Gambit looked, but I liked the character how he was portrayed. But it was a good series. I think it's still on Hulu, the whole series, so definitely check it out. And then you had what was it, the Wolverine and the X-Men. This was before.
That was really good.
And that one only lasted one big season.
I
It was
know.
supposed to come back, but never came back. But I thought it
know.
was really good.
I watched it again long after the fact, like way after it went away. And dude, that's probably the best, like story-wise and animation-wise, of the cartoons that came on TV. That's probably the best one.
Animation
It
wise,
was really
yeah.
good.
They
It was really
start,
good.
yeah, and it had a really good story. It had a really good serious story, and actually did
Mhm.
well what most people want to get in the X-Men. I
Yep.
like the way Cyclops looked. I like how most of the X-Men looked.
Yes, yes.
And again, Papa Wolverine.
Yeah,
Was, it was part of
once
it.
again, yeah.
And then you also had Spider-Man with a lot of evolutions. You had the Spider-Man animated series. You had Spider-Man Amazing Friends. You had Spectacular Spider-Man, which probably was one of my favorite ones. You had the MTV Spider-Man, which had
Also
a
a
short
good show.
run.
Yeah, also
Had a
good
really
show.
short run.
I think it was only 2 seasons.
Yeah, it was only 2 seasons, and they were really short seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Voiced by Doogie Howser himself,
yeah,
Neil Patrick Harris.
he actually returns for Shadow Dimensions to talk to Amazing Spider-Man.
Nice, nice.
The Shadow Dimensions was 4 different Spider-Mans. He's talked
He's
Amazing
voicing
Spider-Man.
all of them. Okay.
No, he's talked Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, this is the default one. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he talked
Cool,
the Amazing Spider-Man. Noir was talked by the one that did the animated series.
Mhm.
The one 2099 was talked by the one that talked him in Amazing Friends.
Okay.
And Josh Keaton, the one that talked him in Spectacular Spider-Man, talked to Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
And then he also would return for the Ultimate Spider-Man game as well.
Cool. Josh Keaton.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, because they did make that other game. You're right.
Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man game. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Spider-Man also had the Spectacular Spider-Man series, which I felt like was a really short run. It was such a good series. It was probably the best portrayal of how the black suit attaches to people.
Okay.
It probably had the best explanation for it and how it did it and how it drew off of Spider-Man and everything like that. It's probably one of the best storylines ever of the Spider-Man series. You had Ultimate Spider-Man, which is it finished a couple years ago, and now you have what's the current one? Oh, Marvel Spider-Man.
That's what it's called. Is Marvel Spider-Man?
Yeah, Marvel Spider-Man, which is again another take, going more towards the current movie, him being back in the kid and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of evolution in these cartoons. They're tiny characters that are just there. They've been there for 1963, and they still can't keep them running.
I mean, it's just a part of the cycle. If you stay popular,
Yeah.
if you stay relevant, and I guess if people give a shit enough to try to reinvent you to make you more relevant again.
Yeah,
So again, I don't mind any of this stuff, man. I'm all for it.
yeah.
I mean, what would you like to imagine a world where no kids know who the hell Spider-Man is or something because they never made cartoons and it stopped after 1 season and the toys didn't sell
Yeah.
and it's just like they went on to something else and Kangaroo Man became the new thing. It's just like I'm just saying, imagine a world where like one thing didn't stick and another one stuck, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just fine as long as they put effort in. It seems to keep sticking.
Yeah.
So hopefully these people get the message. Don't just make something just to take the name and make people go, oh, my nostalgia,
Yeah.
and then give a half-assed effort. No, people like Thundercats.
Yeah.
People want to see it succeed because they don't want to see it dragged in the dirt. It's not one of those bad franchises like, let me see, what's it? Exo Squad.
Yeah.
So many people do not like Exo Squad. Like, if you say I don't like Exo Squad, it's not a thing.
Yeah.
People just would agree with you, you
Yeah.
know? And I don't want Thundercats to become a series where people just go, "Oh, Thundercats." You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that.
So I'll say the biggest example for this Thundercats and how it could probably survive is Teen Titans, and that's the big one in the room. Is that Teen Titans had a really great series. It lasted about 5 seasons. Everyone was digging it. I think it got better during the seasons. I think.
Talking about Teen Titans Go or talking about the original?
Teen Titans.
Okay.
Then it went into Teen Titans Go, and everyone was like, "No! Look what you did!"
Before that, didn't it get saved? Because people were like, if you like watch it or something, like it was a big rush to watch it in the last few seasons, I think, because they were like,
Young Justice.
I was Young Justice. Okay.
That was Young Justice, which didn't survive on TV.
Didn't survive. Understood.
See, that's a perfect example for the whole thing right now.
Oh, Young Justice.
Young Justice was on Cartoon Network. It had a very mature theme. It had a lot of different problems that weren't just superhero thing. They had a romance and things like that, and it just didn't take. A lot of people did not like it.
What about you? Did you have any feelings about it?
I actually really enjoyed the series because I liked the fact that it was more mature. I liked the fact that it was like that, but I understood that it didn't hit the criteria for kids. Kids didn't like it because it was too much adult themes and not enough things that kids can relate to.
Okay. All right.
So I could understand that, and that's a big example. Same thing with Teen Titans. The Teen Titans got a lot more darker towards the ending of the series because they were dealing with Trigon, Raven's father, and shit like that. So it went very dark towards the last two seasons, and went story heavy and less jokey heavy. And a lot of people stopped watching at that time as well because it was just too mature and kids couldn't get into it.
Okay.
So that's the big like heap in the thing. And then when Teen Titans got canceled, I think Justice League got canceled. They went to Young Justice. They did Young Justice, that got canceled. Young Justice only lasted 2 seasons, and it barely. And then it was also, I say, the Cartoon Network picking a day to show it because there was times they'll have new episodes, and they'll be like 3 months later they don't have no episodes at all.
Wow.
And then they'll come out like 6 months, like another month later, and then they'll have like a week of new episodes, and then they'll stop it for a while and then do it again. So it could be in that sense as well. That people didn't know when the fucking show, then they just got tired of waiting.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the big example is Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go was brought back as Teen Titans Go. It was a 15-minute cartoon that focused more on being funny and focused more on comedy and being more vibrant, being more bright, being more like very loud and everything like that. And people didn't. They were like, "Oh my god, why couldn't you get this back?" Oh, to this day, people still bitch about it because of the animation. But
it was hilarious.
But if you take the time to watch it and actually watch the stories, they're hilarious.
Exactly. Yes.
And you'll get a really good laugh, and you'll get a lot. There's a lot of story into these shows that you'll be like, "Oh shit, they actually touched on that. They actually touched on this. They actually touched on the fourth wall and them being a popular cartoon at one point."
I agree.
And, they touched on it not being for everybody. It touched on a lot of things like that, and I think they did a really good job in doing that.
I agree.
And I think that's
like,
the big.
I was one of those people who was ready to write it off until I sat down and watched it.
And I think that's the
biggest
example. That's the biggest example of Thundercats. The only thing with Thundercats original series wasn't that good.
No.
Teen Titans was good.
Yeah. There's a bar. There's a definite bar.
There's a bar. Like there is that bar. Is the fact that Thundercats, as much as like a nostalgic and shit like that. And I'm be honest, I was not a fan. I said it earlier in the cast. I was not a fan of Thundercats. I liked the theme song. I probably watched it if it was on, but I was not crazy about it. It's the same thing with Silverhawks. I actually like Silverhawks better than Thundercats.
I liked the intro to that show.
Yeah,
that's about it. I never really watched an episode.
You know why I think I like Silverhawks over Thundercats because their toys are better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Thundercats toys back in the day were complete like dog shit, man. No articulation. I remember the only Lino I had a broken arm. That was my experience with Thundercats as a toy franchise. Yeah. A too big Lino with a broken arm. No, thank you.
So I'm hoping Thundercats goes in that Teen Titans Go route and actually catches on and people actually enjoy it. Because look at Teen Titans Go got a fucking movie.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It comes out in July. Like they actually have an actual movie coming out in theaters.
Nice.
Live. And for them, honestly, the original Teen Titans would never got that. So like, you have to see where the fan base is at, and the fact that it's that popular. Again, it is not for us anymore. It's more for a different audience. But there's still things that they could do in ways to get us in it, instead of just like, oh, I'm just gonna make it silly just waiting for that thing. But like Voltron, they they just made their story, and if it catches on to you, it catches on to you. If it don't, it don't.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Thundercats was probably on the way out. They tried to do the gritty reboot or the adult or teen, late teen, early adult reboot, and it just failed super hard.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know what? Let's just go a different way completely because this shit ain't working.
Exactly.
I'd rather have this than nothing.
Yeah.
And again, Steven Universe is a legitimately popular thing, so I'll just keep reiterating the point. They were in good hands. It's not like they got a bad studio and people are screaming like, no, the studio's bad. No, it's they'll be fine. It just might turn into something that people might not associate as Thundercats. Like, are they going to be the little gerbil? I forgot the robo gerbils, I think they call robo burbles, the robot bears.
Oh, okay.
Like, is Snarf going to be a cowardly little thing like he is in the regular show? Like, are the characteristics going to be there? Is Lionel really going to be like the same type of stoic leader?
Yeah, you know what's
but he
funny?
was the thing about Lionel though. He was kind of like out there, like he was like not space headed. He was like dreaming us, like he was always thinking about something else. He always seemed preoccupied, so he never really seemed to be 100%. Because he's always thinking about some other shit. Yeah. He's either thinking about Jaga or the fucking that brown dog guy showing up at the wrong time because he's a dead spirit that wants to kill him or something like that. Yeah. Or he's got to worry about pirates showing up. Like, where the fuck did pirates come from? I'm a cat man. What the hell is the pirates were human. Yeah. So it makes it make even less sense because they're just people. Like, why are these people trying to? Well, I guess people hunt lions or whatever. But it's just like Lionel always has something to worry about. Yeah. He couldn't just sit for a minute and just be happy.
Nope. He always has.
So I wonder. But like, I wonder if that's gonna be a theme because he used to have like nightmares and shit in the show.
And I think that's one thing that these cartoons, like as you see in Teen Titans, they kept their characteristics.
Yeah. So
like Robin's still serious. Robin's still serious, helps, but in a joking manner.
It helps that it's the same guy voicing him to keep that characteristic going. It does help.
And the thing is, I think it is the same voice actor as Lionel.
Oh, so was that Billy West or is it not Billy West? That's Robin.
I think it's Peter Cullen.
That's Robin?
No, that's Lionel.
Peter Cullen's gonna be Lionel. No, he wasn't. He wasn't the original Lionel.
Who's the word? I think it is the same voice actor.
That's cool if it's the same original voice actor for Lionel because I don't think I remember him doing anything else. Because Peter Cullen, I know Transformers, but he wasn't Lionel. He might have been like Panthro or something.
Yeah, he talked a lot of the cartoon Transformers.
Yes, this is true.
Like he was in, but the one that that everyone knows him for.
Oh, okay. I know who the voice actor is, but I think he passed.
Yeah.
Remember the father? No, I remember the Panthro's voice actor. He passed. Remember the father from the grandfather from the Cosby Show?
Yeah, that was Panthro.
That was Panthro. Yeah. When I learned that, I was like, holy shit. Wow. That's like two worlds just coming together and just like my mind in between the two of them exploding.
Yeah, he's still alive and he's probably
he's still alive?
Yeah. What? I did Lionel.
Oh, Lionel. Okay.
He's still alive.
Yeah, so yeah, man, listen. Go ahead.
He's 70 years old now, though, so I don't think he's gonna do that.
I mean, listen. How old is Papa Scrooge?
Papa Scrooge? Oh, he was like 100 years old.
Like he's up there, so and still was doing the voice until he retired. I think.
He was the voice of Count Chocula.
Oh, really? Nice. Because I know the last thing that he did before he retired, where he voiced the game, the remake.
Yeah.
It came out on Xbox Live, Arcade, and PSN. The DuckTales remastered. Like I know he did the voice, and you could tell. It was like, oh, he's up there. Him and Magic could Dispel. They were both legacy voice actors, and Launchpad, which is awesome.
Yeah. That's cool. Because even Winnie the Pooh is still the same guy.
Wow. Okay.
Winnie the Pooh and Tigger.
From the original cartoon.
It's the same guy. Yeah.
All right. How about that?
So
see, I mean, you learn something new every day.
They're still talking to him in that Christopher Robin movie.
Wow. So what is that? Real life mixed with CG?
Yeah. Well, they're like fuzzies.
Okay.
Yeah, they're dolls, like, but they're the characters.
Yeah, like they really are. They're actually dolls. Okay.
I'm trying to get the voice actor, at least Leonardo.
He's got a vivid imagination, like Christopher Robin.
Max Middle. That's who talks Lionel.
Axe Middle?
Max Middle.
Max Middle. Oh, I probably have seen his name before. Okay.
I think he talks One Punch Man.
Get out of here. In English?
In English, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's the voice of One Punch Man.
That's a hell of a credit.
He also talks Harry Osborn in the Marvel Spider-Man.
Which series though?
The current one, Marvel Spider-Man.
The current one. Wow. Okay. All
so
right.
he's the one that's voicing Lionel. Well, I can't even say his name right. Lionel. I'm trying to see if there's any like particular names that are like out there. There's only 4 names. They had Tigra, Chitara, and Panthro voice actors already.
Okay. So I don't have the kids yet. That's the only ones missing. The kids and Snarf.
Yeah.
Jaga, if he's there. Oh, mumm-ra, of course.
No, but like the opening like poster of this of Thundercats Roar, you see all the characters.
I know you see mumm-ra, right?
You see mumm-ra, you see the kids. They're like fighting the.
Is there a man that looks like a ghost? That should be Jaga.
No, it's the bird, the frog dude, and the monkey.
The monk? Oh, they were like called the Marauders or something.
Yeah, it's dumb. Like if you look at the main thing, you see Tigra, you see Chitara, you see the kids.
Oh yeah, Jackalman, Monkey, and Snide, I think his name is. It's the frog.
You see them. So they're all there. So again, we hope for the best. We'll talk about it more when it comes out and actually have a look over for you guys and actually talk about it. Thundercats not Thundercats. Voltron's June 14th.
So that's really soon. Nice.
So we're getting that back very soon. Anything else gonna go?
No, nothing else Toon related coming out. Just a recommendation of if you want to watch another good movie on Netflix. There's a movie with Henry Rollins as a demon.
Oh.
That he's trying to live by himself and not be bought. He's like I don't want to spoil who he is, but he's literally well, no, he's not a demon. I just said that. I just realized he's not even a demon. He's literally just an immortal being. But when you find out what he is, it is kind of funny. He's not a demon. Sorry, I said that. But yeah, he has to eat people to survive. So he lives his life trying to stay away from people, so he doesn't have to eat people. He just drinks something else. And then you find out, and that gets him into a lot of trouble, and that basically stops his seclusion, and he gotta pick up. But it's cool because it plays that man out of time thing. Yeah. Like, what would it be like if you were a being that could live forever, and you have lived since the beginning of time, and you just like the stuff that he says, the way that he reacts to things is like if you've seen everything and heard everything, you just really wouldn't give a shit. Like it's not a story of a man who really, really wants to die, although there's some stuff that goes down, but it's not like a suicidal person or anything. So, like the man who lives forever is just like, I want to die. No, he's just living a life. But like, it is really a cool take on that whole thing. So I liked it.
I got 2 from Netflix. The Toys That Made Us return for a 2nd season. Definitely, if you're a fan of, like, I was a big Transformer person, and then the Legos, I think those are the 2 episodes that I really wanted to watch. They also go into Star Trek figures and Hello Kitty. I'm hoping they get a 3rd season because I really want to see their take on the Ninja Turtle figures because that was a big franchise as well. maybe Hot Wheels, and there's a lot of things they could possibly do. Maybe My Little Pony, and remember the Cash Scratch dolls was such a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
but
there's
just
a lot of things they could still
to
do.
give you a little closure, the name of the movie is He Never Died.
He never died. I'll definitely check it out. But definitely check that out. And then also, I just started watching this documentary on Funko.
Oh, really? Cool.
The Pops that I collect. I have many of them. It's called Making Fun. The story of the Funko. It's about an hour and a half. It just came on Netflix as well. They're talking about the beginning of Funko and the bobbleheads sensations they made. This was even before the vinyls. They actually were famous for their bobbleheads and everything like that. Their serial characters and all that stuff.
Okay, cool.
So definitely check this out. Street Fighter collection comes out Tuesday.
Yeah, buddy. And oh yeah, just to mention the tournament's going down this weekend. There's supposed to be an announcement for something about Cody regarding Street Fighter 5, and that's at Combo Breaker, which is going on right now. I mean, it's been an amazing weekend so far. Again, usually as we do on the podcast, we do put up the links so you can check out if you haven't watched it live, you can check out the restreams or the archives. They're all going to be on Twitch, but we're just going to put Combo Breaker 2018, put the links to SRK since they have Event Hubs. They have all the details and stuff, so check that out.
Yeah,
and there was a mystery tournament. That's why I brought that up. There was actually a Street Fighter 1 first to 3, and it was godlike. It was amazing. Because it's hard to do specials in that game.
Yeah.
Super strict input. So you really see people playing footsies and mind games with characters that can barely do anything. It's hilarious, but it's also super fun to watch. And I could see that being fun with friends because apparently there's a random game select mode.
Yeah.
Where you put it on the screen and you hit a button and it randomly cycles a game for you to play.
Okay.
And because the load times are basically non-existent, you can, do a tournament where you just play mystery games like that whole way, and that's a cool addition. So
yeah, the collection is coming out this Tuesday. I actually pre-ordered it for the PS4 and the Switch because it's coming out on Switch.
Yeah, and you get the USF4 if you pre-order it. Both digitally and physically.
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely pick that up. And also the Sega Genesis collection comes out on Tuesday as well, which I'm debating on getting. The reason
isn't it at a lower price point than normal though?
Yeah, it's at $40.
Okay.
But I'm debating just the fact that I'm gonna get on the PS4. Just the fact that it's gonna piss me off if I buy the Xbox because I do own Streets of Rage. I do own Golden Axe, the collections on Xbox already.
I do too, but I don't have the full Golden Axe. I have the arcade version, which is weird. They put that out. That was like a glitch when they put up the original versions of the games for Genesis. They actually put up the arcade version of Golden Axe.
Oh shit!
Which is completely different. And then now when I go to the store on my 360, I'd never have the full game, and I have to consistently go to download. Yeah. And it never downloads the game. It says it's on my system. I play it, and it's the trial version.
That sucks. I have that's the only reason why I still have my 360s because I have Turtles arcade game on there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I have X-Men on there.
I've got a bunch of that stuff, and the servers since they're going over, a lot of that stuff still works.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but I would say for that collection in particular, just look at the other games that aren't on the regular collections, because if you have the last one that came out for like PS3 360 and the games that are the games that are new really don't pique your interest, you probably don't want to bother because you're not gonna really play it.
I was hoping
I would recommend you get Dark Souls, but that's just me.
I was hoping it would come out on the Switch. So I think I would have been
not?
more. It's not coming out on the Switch. I think I would have been more invested to buy it if it was on the Switch.
Yeah, that's a surprise to me. I thought it was.
But one thing they did add, they did online play. So you can play Streets of Rage online. You play Ultra Beast online. You play all those games online. So I think that piqued my interest in a way too, because I would like to make videos of Streets of Rage.
This is true.
So that could be something fun to do, and I might pick it up because it's only $40, so it'll only be $30 if I do it, buy it to Best Buy.
Nice. That's true. Yeah.
So
Okay.
There's a big chance. That's all I got.
All right. So now we can wrap it up. Thank you for listening to the It Gets Better I Swear podcast. Please remember to follow us on all our social media. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. We are on Tumblr, Facebook, and WordPress, and they're all RedCycloneInc. Also check out Merc with the Mic on his YouTube channel and his social media. He also has an Instagram. He also has Twitter. He also has the Facebook group for what is it, Wrestling Babble?
Wrestling Babble and the RedCycloneInc.
Yeah, so he got that covered. Very active there on the Wrestling Babble. Polls and all that stuff go live for pay-per-views and whatnot. Like big things. Lots of members, and just always stuff going on.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got. Make sure to check out the SoundClouds for both Merc with the Mic and RedCycloneInc. Also the YouTubes. I have been a little silent on the playthroughs because I've been recording one in secret. Metal Gear kind of fell off for me.
Okay.
Not feeling it. I'm gonna go back to it, but I have another game I'm about to bust out.
Okay.
With a bunch of videos for it, and yeah,
so
that should be fun. That should be fun.
I kind of fell off as also with the God of War. I was trying to get it this weekend, but I didn't have time for it. So hopefully I'll get some more. I'll get part 5, 6, and 7 up. I also been playing Dragon's Crown, which I'm trying to get a video with Jenkins eventually. So probably me and Commander Farrell will be doing a playthrough of Dragon Crown.
Nice. Dragon's Crown Pro for PS4.
Yes. I've been
also, if you are... Oh, you know what? Tell me when you're going to do that, because I want to see if it works with the PS3. I have the game on PS3, and this has been said that you can play with the people on the two past systems, meaning Vita and PS3.
Okay, so we'll try it.
The multiplayer servers still work.
Okay.
I want to test that out and see if we can do that.
Do you have the online feature available on your side?
On PS3? Yeah, I have Plus.
No, because you actually have to play through a certain.
No, for those games, no. I beat the games like a bunch of times, so I stopped after you have to do the generic tutorial stuff. I stopped after that. So what is it, like a few hours in? Yeah.
So like as long as you have that, then you have online. You have to play to a certain area.
Yes.
And then you're allowed to online to play, and then you're not allowed to. You have to like pay for it to get to certain places.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Assholes.
But like, that's cool. That's how you do stuff like that.
I love it though. I'm loving it. I've been using the warrior more than anything, just because it's the first time playing it. But I tried out the sorceress for many reasons, and I tried out the barbarian. I mean,
listen, not for nothing, she's the best character in the game. Yeah. Like legitimately, she is, because she can make food.
Yeah.
Literally, she can keep herself and everybody else alive. She's the best character.
Yeah, so I've been playing it a lot. I haven't played this week, so hopefully by next week I'll start getting more of these on. Yeah, and I have some retro games that might start doing some playthroughs as well, so that's coming down the line though.
Nice. So as you can see, stuff is going down. So make sure to stay tuned to anything and everything RedCycloneInc.
Yeah.
That's it for this week.
Yeah.
Peace
Out. It is.